Om Shuddham Buddham Muktam Sri Pranavanandam Jaya Sri Pranavanandam Dhritanaravigrahadevam Vande Vishvesham Om Hara Hara Sat Guru Mahadevam Om Shantam Dantam Sundarakantam Karunagana Murtim Jaya Karunagana Murtim Mangalamanditangam Mangalamanditangam Vishwambhara Rupam Om Hara Hara Sat Guru Mahadeva Om Shantam Dantam Sundarakantam Karunagana Murtim Jaya Karunagana Murtim Mangalamanditangam Vishwambhara Rupam Om Hara Hara Sat Guru Mahadeva Om Kshetram Dharmam Nishchita Dharman Pravartana Kaman Puna Pravartana Kamam Hindurakshi Sainam Hindurakshi Sainam Viruchita Kshetresham Om Hara Hara Sat Guru Mahadeva Hara Hara Sat Guru Mahadeva Om Hara Hara Sat Guru Mahadeva Adorations to Lord Shiva, Sat Guru Mahadeva. And we refer to that Sat Guru as Swami Parameshananda ji Maharaj also. You know, when you find something that works for you, then what happens? You follow it, you adhere to it, and when it's coming from a divine source, you will recognize it. And when you recognize it, that would be God's grace. And then little by little, what would happen? You will transcend. You'll exit this mundane life, this life of where we're scavenging for little pleasures, bodily pleasures. Well, we should be stopped scavenging and we should go to the higher heights. You know, when you have experiences with God, and I'll speak about that now a little, that Swami Parameshananda, he would have had the power, because who he is, he's all-pervading. In other words, his divine power, when he did his meditation at the age of 20 in 1916, when he said he got God realization, what was he talking about? What does that mean? In other words, he would have been in the body, this cage of flesh and bone, but then he was all over the universe, in every atom, in creation and beyond creation. Because why? He's all-pervading and omnipotent, all-powerful, divine power. That this divine power, it is what was used to create the universe. It is another name for consciousness. It is another name for existence. So he would have realized that he's the one that created this universe. But it was all a leela, because he announced his coming. You see, when you challenge God with your honesty, we've seen that with austerities, that when Arjuna would have gone to receive weapons for the Mahabharata war, he would have done austerities, and Lord Shiva came in a disguise, and then he would have got Lord Shiva's weapons. And so with the other deities. So when he went to the Mahabharata war, he was all powerful. He had the knowledge and he had the equipment. So in our lives too, we have to develop the same thing. We have to develop, get the knowledge, the divine knowledge. And then omniscient. Swami Parameshananda, omniscient. So he's omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. He knows the past, present, and future. So he knows all of creation. He knows everything. And he knows what is the future of all of us, that we are evolving towards perfection. This is the kind of thing that when you come in contact with a guru like Swami Parameshananda ji, BHARAT, SEVASHRAM, and not when he had this God realization, he returned to that. That's when he has magnetic power. He had it before, but then it was shown, and then he would have attracted young boys to his presence. And they're the ones, they were his school classmates, and they become the monks of Bharat SEVASHRAM Sheng. So they were infused with this divine power that Swami Parameshananda has, and the great masters like Christ and the Buddha. When Buddha started Buddhism, and then ashrams and so many monks, that we are very friendly with them. When I go to Nepal, I'll make sure and go visit the Buddhist ashram and speak to the Swamijis. Any part of the world I go, I make it a point to go and speak to them. When we were in South Korea, I went there. In Japan, I will go on and meet them. And they're so beautiful to be with, pure souls. Anyway, Swami Parameshananda, he would have continued this work. And you know, when you work with the ashram in the capacity of act of detachment, and all that you're doing is surrender to the Guru. Surrender. And when you surrender to the Guru, he will give you his grace in the form of letting you serve under him. And when you serve, this is what Krishna Bhagavan was saying, that okay, do your arti, do your worship, know why you're doing it, know the greatness of God, then you do meditation. But if you want to get the instant spiritual gratification, what you do, you go and you do serve society. And I had the opportunity to serve, and monks of Bharat SEVASHRAM, the devotees have the opportunity to serve. Now in Guyana, we're doing work there heavily to rebuild and make it better. But the spiritual power is there, that was brought brought with Swami Parameshananda in the mid-50s. And he would have converted a swampland into a majestic and Hindu college and mandir and all kinds of activities. That land in the early days would have provided the necessities, because part of it is used for growing paddy and rice, which the ashram would use, and also the vegetables. So he was very resourceful, Swami Parameshananda. And then this famous disciple, Swami Vidyananda, he inherited that power. It is only Swami Vidyananda had that full power. Why? Because he was able to create that so many Swamijis they came under his he would have created with the power that was transmitted him. First, the lineages, Swami Parameshananda, God himself, then Swami Parameshananda, and he brought it and he would transmit it. You know, we have to make ourselves receptive to this power. And I feel it and I get it all the time. And that's why I'm able to do work all over the world. United Nations have gone, and to Syria, Lebanon, and then within 6 or 7 days, we would have done so much, reaching all the people, the Christian leaders in Damascus, head of the Christian church in Damascus, Aleppo, the head of the Muslim organization in Aleppo in Syria. And then we go to Lebanon, where we meet the head of the Sunni leader and Shiite leaders, and we bring some kind of consolation to them, because our delegation was a multi-faith spiritual delegation. And then we would have met the Aram first of the Armenian church in Lebanon, and how beautiful all of this is happening one after the other. But my greatest pleasure, bliss that I had, was to speak to the monastery of the Armenian church. And it's so beautiful that they have, up in the mountains, they have these monks are in training, and they realize there has to come a time when not just monks that were never in the Grihasti married life, but they encourage that whoever wants to give up that and go and become a monk after being in the married life, they were accepted. So that is something looking ahead, because in our Bharat SEVASHRAM Sheng, we're losing monks. We're in deficit every year, that maybe 15 or 16 Swamijis would die from old age or whatever, but we were not attracting enough new young monks to come in. So now we have so much work to be done, but monks are there. So we have to go to householders and to get to work more closely with them, because there's an opportunity. So this morning, these are all bubbling ideas and truths that are coming through. And in the Guyana ashram there, it is so beautiful to work in that capacity, like I did in Bajitpur, Bangladesh ashram, the birthplace and God realization of Swami Parameshananda ji. And to do this in Guyana again, it's the bliss. So this is a sustenance that when Swami Parameshananda ji, you go to him and you get his grace. He sustains that grace by what? Activities. It is a sin, very big sin, whether in what stage you're right, like brahmacharyam, grihasti, vanprastha, sannyas in our Hindu system. It is a sin not to serve society, because the life would have gone wasted. Because why? You are only concerned, we are only concerned, how do we make ourselves happy and immediate family? We may have money and we think, oh, we could keep accumulating. When you ask people for money, I know many people you ask for money and they have it, but they want to hold on to it. Because why? That is like this is the way they live their lives. They want to build and accumulate and accumulate. But to share is very difficult. However, there are other good people and they give. So this morning, I've been spoken so much, and it's such a beautiful morning here in Jamaica, Queens. This is all coming through the grace of the Guru. Imagine there's a big water container on the roof and the pipe that comes down so that you can get the water at the bottom by opening up the top. The pipe, that pipe is that I feel like I'm that pipe where you're getting the grace of the Guru and you speak to him. That big reservoir and that small pipe, I am like that small pipe, and we are like that. But that is a good role. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning, and let us pay adorations to the Guru. Om Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti, Puja Moolam Guru Param, Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. Om Hari Om Shanti, Shanti Shanti Hari Om. Well, devotees, find a way to do some good today. Selfless service, not for yourself or your immediate ones. Do that also, but expand. Contraction is death, expansion is life. Expand, and just like Swami Parameshananda ji, you want to be omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. You want to be Satchidanand, truth, consciousness, and bliss. Look at the flowers here. The ducks are getting so big now. The babies are getting so big. I just want to hold on and let you see it. And when you look at them, they're so invigorating, aren't they? Look, I'll walk over there. The little ones are over here. And as we go, enjoy the scenery. Om Man ki aankhein khol Baba, Man ki aankhein khol, Man ki aankhein khol Baba, Man ki aankhein khol Baba, Man ki aankhein khol. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari Hari bol, 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 Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari Hari bol. दुनिया क्या है एक तमाशा, 4 दिनों की झूठी आशा, ज्ञान तराजू हाथ में लेकर तोल सके को तोल बाबा, मन की आंखें खोल बाबा, मन की आंखें खोल बाबा, मन की आंखें खोल. These babies that were born a couple weeks ago, look at that, they're starting to get so big. And there's the mother protecting. Father is also in a protective state, and watch them grow. Beautiful. And it is. Let us pay adoration to the sun. Om Bhurabhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. We're all gods and goddesses. It's a sin to think that we are not. Let us ask this morning, O Lord, help us to rediscover that we are. Give us the knowledge, and only you can do that through your grace. We are your disciples, you are the Lord. And with that, we close on a beautiful morning here in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om.